Hey everyone, welcome back to Simply Blessed Crafts. So, we are doing another Calendar Girls collaboration. I do want to give a quick shout out, guys, to Jessica over at the Busy Housewife. She will not be in our collab again this month. Just give her some love. Go over to her channel. Watch it. You know, give her some love. Tell her we're all thinking of her and everything like that. You know, she's definitely still part of this collab. Don't think that she's not. She's just having some tough times right now. So definitely go give her some love. And we are just going to continue to pray for her and to hold up the fort until she comes back for us. But we have some wonderful gals here that are going to participate in the Calendar Girls collaboration until she returns. And with that being said, I will show you who is going to be helping us out. And we also have a guest host this month, which we probably will continue. That's been way at my heart for quite a while now, so we're going to probably continue that. So we're going to have a guest host this month. So we'll get into that. Let's get into the DIYs, guys. Let's go. Alright, everyone. So, Calendar Girls collaboration. It is hosted this month by me and Craft Away with Jay. And our guest host this month is the Southern Shell. Sorry, I was going to say Southern Belle. Anyway, the Southern Shell. Her name's Michelle. So, welcome, Michelle. Thank you so much for being our guest host. DIY, or project number 1. I'm going to use the back of our calendar page, or backer of our calendar bundle here. This one actually came from Hobby Lobby. So these are going to be really thick. But what's really nice about these ones is that they have a solid coloring backing to this, and it had a really pretty red. So I'm tracing out some apples. By the way, guys, this is brought to you by Fall Apples. We're doing all fall apples this month, so it's all about fall apples. I'm going to take some leaves, and I'm going to basically do the same thing I just did, and I'm going to trace out a couple of leaves, but this time I'm going to use the calendar side of those. And then I grabbed some of these mugs, and I'm going to trace out four of the mugs. Of course, these you all get from the Dollar Tree as well, guys, but this stuff is actually some old scrapbook paper that I had in my stash. And now I'm going to go in with some Mod Podge, and we're going to Mod Podge these down. But this, like I said, this stuff is really thick. It's almost like thick cardstock. So I wanted to make sure that I go over with a really thick coat of this Mod Podge. Because we need it to stick down really well. So I do this with all of it. The scrapbook paper, and with our leaves, and with all of our apples. We're going to make a garland, you guys. So I'm just basically continuing all through that. Of course, we're going to have to cut these out because they're definitely bigger, but I wanted to make sure that we had enough. So bigger is always better. That way we can cut it down instead of having too less. So I'm grabbing a really sharp X-Acto knife, and I'm going around all of the edges. I thought this was a lot easier than going in with a scraper tool instead. Or not scraper tool, what am I talking about? The sanding paper. If you wanted to do that, you could, but because this was so thick, sometimes it doesn't always sand the best. This way I was going to be able to get a finer edge along the edge of it. And with like the mugs and stuff like that, it was going to be really difficult for me to get inside like the little loop and everything like that. So I just figured that this would be a lot easier. After I got everything done, because it had some of the edges, that had the paper edges and stuff that you could see through, I went through and darkened everything with my Rusty Hinge by Tim Holtz, the Dioxide. You can also do this with any kind of ink pad or even some antique wax if you wanted to. I just basically wanted to dirty it up a little bit, make it a little bit more fallish, rustic looking. If you don't like that look, you can definitely skip this step, but that's definitely me. I even went over the stems and the little leaf and stuff like that up there on the apple. And now we're going in with some toasted marshmallow up on the little cream part of these little mugs that we have. We're gonna go for some kind of like apple cider thought process in this. So I'm just basically going and giving them one good coat. I'm gonna take some of this, what is it called? I had it on the tip of my tongue when I was trying to think of when I was editing this, and I still cannot freaking think of it. It's basically just like it's like decrepit dust. There we go. It's from DIY, but it's like dark and decrepit. There we go. I had to spit it out. But it's just like, it's basically like just brown dust basically, and it was gonna be perfect for like cinnamon flake looking junk. So that's basically what I was doing there. Anyway, let's move on. I grabbed a magazine and I'm cutting out like apple pictures. I did cut out this little apple word. I wanted to do some kind of little decal on each thing. These are from other things. The little apple, the last little apple one that I put on there is from the actual calendar. One of the Dollar Tree calendars. And then it's from the back of it, by the way. And then the other one is from one of my Temu pictures. I didn't show those because I'm just kind of cutting out little pictures of stuff that I had in my stash. And now we're gonna put on some of our rope. I had a hard time getting this stuff in here in some of these. I'm letting you know that because I doubled it up and I'm kind of just folding it. So I'm gonna kind of show you what I'm doing here. I do show you a couple times, but I wanted it to make sure that I wasn't gonna turn on me. So I'm basically folding it and I'm pushing it into it doubled up, and then we're going to basically knot it on the top so it doesn't turn when we put it on our garland. But I started doing it the other way and then I changed my mind, so that's kind of why I'm showing you what I'm doing here now, because I had a bunch of them done and then I'm redoing some of them. Now I'm taking some yarn. Actually, I figured the yarn would be cool because it's brown and it's a different shade than the actual jute twine. But I'm just basically gonna tie these on. So basically I have 2 leaves and then I have 4 apples and 4 apple ciders. So I'm gonna do the 2 leaves on the very ends, and then I'm gonna do every other one in the middle. So I do apple, apple cider, apple, apple cider, apple, apple cider, so on and so forth throughout it. And then like I said, I had the 2 leaves on the ends. I do not show this hung up right now. I was just trying to get the projects done and everything, but I do show it in the final reveal in front of my projects. So DIY number 2. These other ones are very simple, guys. Very, very, very simple. That was probably my more difficult one, and it wasn't all that difficult. This picture, it was just so cute and so, I don't know, it was just very cute just the way it is. I did hem haw at the very end of this when I was doing it, but I am just basically trying to just cut this down as much as I could without going too rambunctious. So I had to fit it into this sign. So here I'm just kind of trying to trim off a little bit of the back bumper, a little bit of the front bumper, not cutting too much of one and too much of the other, just to kind of get this to lay down in our sign. This is from a previous project that I just decided to redo, basically. So here now we're just going to put on a healthy coat of Elmer's purple glue stick here. And we're just going to stick this down. Now this is kind of just where I'm stuck at, guys. I did not know where to go with it from here. I did hem haw and figure out, like, I don't know. I just, like, I wanted to add something to it, but I just didn't know what. So, guys, let me know what you guys think. Should I add something to it? Should I not? Project number 3, you're just going to kind of see me rip it out here. We are going to use this. This is kind of what I was talking about. I do use that little picture from the back of that calendar for my apple ciders. Anyway, so this one was kind of a work in progress. I ended up not knowing what I was going to do with this at first. But I am going to go around and kind of just fussy cut this. I do not show you the whole thing. I just wasn't sure. It's probably why it's the very end one. So I end up taking this little plaque, and I'm going to... It needed to be darker. I didn't like that it was just... I usually like plain wood, but it seemed like it just needed to be darker. So I just grabbed some... I think it's just burnt umber or something, and I just give it a good coat on here. Spread it around. I do the edges and everything, and then I'm gonna glue down my little apples here. Now, once this is all done, it would be cute if I was actually doing my apples, or doing my kitchen and apples, to just have it sit it up on the little wall or whatever as a wall sitter or a shelf sitter or whatever. But I'm not doing that. So I don't really know what I'm going to do with it after I get done with this. It's not bad. But now that I'm looking at it, it's too dark. Now the apples are blending in too much. So now I'm like, okay, well, and I got to make the apples stand out. So now I'm grabbing some I do not know what color this is. I'm trying to think. It's got to be like some kind of beige or something. I went like not white, but kind of, because I didn't want to overpower it. So I can't remember what color I went with this, but it almost might have been like toasted marshmallow or something like that. It might have been something along those lines, but some kind of beige, maybe even. I know I have like tutorial beige and like warm buff, but I even think warm buff was too dark. But I want, I'm just kind of going around and just kind of blending it in, but I'm trying to make those apples pop a little bit more from that picture. which does seem to work. I don't mind it. I like how it went. I'm even going in and making the lines a little bit bigger, so you can kind of see me do. I even go around the apple inside the picture here to kind of make that smaller apple kind of pop from the big apple. And then we had to add a couple of little of the shadow spots there. And then we're in the final reveal, you guys. So like I said, the couple of other ones are just very simple. Very, very simple projects. But we're doing apples, so they kind of just speak for themselves. I mean, we're harvesting apples in the truck. And then the other one is just apple decor. And then here's our garland just kind of draped through it all. It kind of looks cute, adorable. But let me know, guys, what you think. What should I add to our apple signs? What do you think? What do they need? Make sure you guys go check everybody else over at the playlist, you guys. Make sure you go give everybody some love. Make sure you guys go give Jessica some love. Tell her we're all loving her and praying for her. And I will see you guys all in the next one. I will have some more junk journaling coming up really soon, you guys. I've been wanting to get into some more of that. Some more junk journaling, some more mixed media. I'm looking forward to that. I need some relaxation. God bless.